How's it going, guys? Chris from Terrestrial Imaging here, and in this video we're going to be going over the all-new DroMight Talon drop system version 2 for the DJI Matrice 350 RTK. Now, some of you might have already seen our version 1 drop system, where on the outside you'll notice this colored cable. This colored cable was plugging into a cover that sat on the bottom strobe light for the 350 or the 300. Now, that cover was looking for the light from that strobe light in order to trigger the release of the drop system. Now with the newer model, you'll see that we no longer have that colored light, and that's because the drop system is now fully integrated with the PSDK. So with the Matrice 350 RTK, the new expansion port allows us full integration where we can now put a widget on our screen using the PSDK in order to open and close the drop system or lock it to prevent accidental drops. So next we're going to plug this into one of our drones and we're going to show you how to use the drop system using your RC Plus controller and the PSDK widget. Alright, so we fastened our drop system onto the bottom of our drone and we plugged it into the E-port on top. This will give us full control over the drop system using our controller. So if you'd like, you can press the red button on the back to open it, or we can go ahead and look at our controller and we'll show you how to control the opening and closing of the drop system via the controller. So as you saw, we just opened the drop system using the red button, and we can see that on the controller by looking at the blue icon in the DroMight Talon PSDK window. This icon lets us know whether or not the drop system is open or closed. To open or close the drop system, we'll first have to unlock the drop system, and then we can close it, or we can unlock it and open it. The locking feature prevents any accidental drops midair. Now, if you were at the drop system manually clicking the red button, you can open and close that drop system without needing to unlock it via the controller because you are manually opening and closing it. You're on the ground, so you're not going to accidentally drop anything. When looking at the controller, you'll see every single time we close the drop system, it will automatically lock it by default to, again, prevent those accidental drops. Lastly, built in, we have a feature put in place to protect you from putting strain on your drop system and accidentally thinking it's closed when in reality it's wedged between it and the device that you have hung on it. So if I were to jam this drop system by putting these post-it notes in it, and I were to go ahead and close the drop system will reopen and you'll see 3 flashing green lights to indicate that something was jammed. Again, this prevents a line or a rope or anything that you have fastened in the drop system from jamming between the pin and the side of the drop system. What this means is when you're flying, you can guarantee that what you're hooking onto here is safe and secure rather than jammed and having a chance of falling out mid-flight. Alright guys, so now I'm going to show you how to install the Talon on our Matrice 350 RTK. So first start by taking your drone and putting it upside down on the table. For here we're using foam just to prevent any damage to the stuff on top of the 350. And you're going to start by using one of the included screwdrivers, so the longer one, you'll have 2, one of them is longer. You're going to take the longer one and you're going to unscrew the leg cuffs on the side of the drone. So I already took these off to save time, but they sit right over here. You're going to take out the 4 screws and put those 4 screws to the side. We're not going to need those anymore, but I recommend you hold on to those in case you want to use them at a later date. So those 4 screws, if you just turn the leg cuff upside down and pop these out, you'll be able to collect them and just put those to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the mounting tabs that come with the drop system, there's 2 of them, and we're going to take one of our leg cuffs and we're going to fasten the tab to the leg cuff. So if we push this in, you'll see everything lines up nicely. And when you do this, we want to make sure that the silver portion on the leg tab is facing towards the cuff, not towards the inside of the drone. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take the tab and the cuff and you're going to screw it back into where you initially removed it from. Now the key difference here is you're not going to be using those factory screws anymore. So we're going to give you a bag of longer screws, and this is needed to fill the distance now put in place by the tab. And we're also going to give you some Loctite. So make sure you use that Loctite on those screws to prevent them from backing out mid-flight. Once you have both of those tabs on, we're then going to show you how to fasten the drop system to those tabs. All right, so now that our legs are secured and our drone is upright, we're going to go ahead and mount our top rack. So the roof rack here is going to be in a bag by itself with 2 separate screws. Just take that out, feed the screws through the holes, and we're gonna line it up to the 2 screw holes that sit directly in front of both rubber ports. So once our roof rack is screwed in, we can then go ahead and fasten our Talon to the 350. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our Talon, make sure the red button is facing backwards, not towards the front of the drone. We're gonna pinch our drop system in a little bit, and we're gonna line up the metal tabs on the drop system and feed those through the holes on our leg tabs. So once those fall into place, we're then gonna take the thumb screws on our Talon and screw these in. And this will guarantee that the drop system is nice and secure to the frame of the aircraft. Now we're gonna take our cable and we're gonna make sure that it goes in front of the leg, not behind. And we're gonna go ahead and plug it into the expansion port on the top of the drone. Now, look at the end of the cable on the drop system and just notice that one side has 2 notches cut out and one side only has 1. We're gonna make sure that we line that up to the 2 and 1 notch on either side of the E-port. So just plug that in properly. And once plugged in, we're gonna take our Velcro strap, feed it through our roof rack, and we're gonna secure the wire to the top of the drone. Now, once the wire is secure, we wanna make sure that it's not blocking any of the sensors on the side of the drone, and once done, your Talon is properly secured to your Matrice 350. Now to take it off, all you have to do is reverse the process, unplug it, release the Velcro strap, pull the wire through, reverse and unscrew the thumb screws, pinch the Talon, and it comes right off. Now, the cool part is you no longer have to remove these leg tabs. You can just leave them on as long as you want. They're not going to interfere with any of your other payloads or other devices that you're using with your 350. The only downside is you might have to cut the foam a little bit in your case in order to get the lid to properly close, but if you do that, you'll never have to take those little tabs off and constantly, just unscrew and rescrew. So that's it for the Talon Drop System version 2. If you guys have any questions about it, want to purchase it, or want to know how it works, feel free to reach out to us at 1-800-359-0530 or find us online at terrestrialimaging.com. Thanks for watching.